Welcome back to Twin Terror. I'm Gary.
And I'm David.
And today the peasants are revolting.
Yep, they stink on ice.
Yeah,
By the
so
way, I like that blue painting in your background there. It looks very lifelike.
my blue painting, that's my house.
Yes, very nice.
We have some guests that are allegedly going to be staying with us this summer. And my wife, who is always busy trying to get the cart out as far in front of the horse as she could possibly get it, has decided that the entire shed that I record in needs to be completely remodeled in anticipation of guests that may or may not arrive this summer. So,
I like the American flag blue color you've chosen for your backdrop there.
Yes,
it looks like a pool.
Yes, I'm going to paint our fountain the same color. So this wall right here is where the desk usually is, and all the pictures, the rock and roll pictures, are now, I'm facing them. And this is actually the door to the backyard of our house. And those are actually our Adirondack chairs in our house in a somewhat blue hue.
It's like very blue.
You may see a cat make an appearance or two because the door is open and the cats have been patrolling out there for the last hour or so while we were doing Taco Tuesday.
Probably waiting for you to feed them.
I did feed
them. Food they will ignore.
Well, Punky ate almost a whole can of food because it was new and different and delicious food, which means tomorrow he'll sniff it and turn his nose up and walk away from it.
Sure.
So we just got done with Taco Tuesday with Marina. And one of the things that we were discussing was Trump's settlement with the DOJ and the IRS. They dropped their $10 billion IRS lawsuit in exchange for a couple of small considerations. One of which was a 1.776
1776, baby.
All about patriotism. Fund for Trump and his cronies to grift off of, because anyone who feels they were a victim of weaponization, government weaponization of an investigation, I guess, or something like that, they can somehow grift money off it. It's just another way for Trump and his cronies to get money, for the taxpayers to pay Trump more money. And then for the IRS to cease and desist and forever be barred from doing any kind of audits on Trump and his kids prior to the date that this thing was signed, which might have been yesterday. Was it the 18th? So any investigations that the IRS was doing, Todd Blanchard said, yeah, IRS, you can't do anything more with that. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what it is. So you can only audit on bad behavior going forward, not for any of the bad behavior that they've been probably doing consistently for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
And Dave, you did a reading. Was that your reading today on that? Or
yeah, it's good. So it's going up at the same time as this one.
Yeah, and what I was commenting was, when I read this, my blood just starts to boil. And it's and to me, they're not even trying to hide the grifting anymore.
Nope.
Matter of fact, they're leaning into it. They're doubling down on it. And it's like, yeah, we're going to do it. What are you going to do to stop us?
Yep.
And to me, it's like it's getting to the point, or it may have gotten to the point where the general public, because you're going to combine this with the Iranian war, which is sending gas prices through the roof, which is also going to send food prices and a whole bunch of other things through the roof. They want a $1.5 trillion defense budget that's going to have to get paid from something. Trump and his merry band of misfits have just decided that they don't care about MAGA anymore. It's all about enrichment. And at some point, even MAGA's got to sit up and take notice. Unless they're from Q Division.
Right. Well, he can't run for re-election. all you can try to do is cancel him and stay in power for ever and ever and ever. That, I mean, you don't need a base if you don't if you can't be removed from office. You just need a bunker.
His whole thing is by making sure Iran never has nuclear weapons, which they may never have gotten in the first place, that MAGA would be so grateful to him that they'd be willing to endure all the financial hardship that they're currently enduring. The problem is if he doesn't get that Strait of Hormuz opened up fairly soon, there is going to be some serious gas shortages. And for those, and I know the audience that we have tends to be a little more seasoned. They've had many trips around the sun. Yes. You may remember the odd and even days of the 1970s when we went through the gas shock in 1979, and you could only go to the gas station on odd or even days based on your license plate number. And then I think you're probably limited to how much gas you could get at the time.
I don't know about that, but you were certainly limited by your license plate.
Yes. And I think it's just a matter of time before you start getting the mindset of what happened with the CEO in the United Healthcare, where Luigi Mangione decided he had had enough. He had been bullied enough. He had been taken advantage enough. He had been run through the system and ignored, and basically decided he was going after the corruption. He was going to go right after the head of the corruption. And I think it's only a matter of time before that movement starts to happen. And they may not wait until the November elections for this to happen.
Presumably. Allegedly.
In my opinion. Yes. The presumption of innocence. But it's something I wanted to kind of take a look at. I mean, let's face it, a lot of us are fed up with this timeline. We're fed up with the corruption and the grifting and the double dealing and the blatant leaning into it and not caring that you can see it. And it's when we're joined by our friends on the right is when we really have the momentum. And it's really, they have shown themselves to be absolutely impervious to logic, absolutely resistant to facts, more than willing to rationalize bad behavior. But I think when you can't fill up your big bro truck with the Confederate flags sailing off and the American flag sailing off the back, and all of a sudden now you got to take the bus or walk, or you can't just go anywhere because there's no gas for you, or it's going to cost you the equivalent of your mortgage to fill up your tank. They may finally, like Q Division, sit up and take notice.
Python references.
Yes. Denzel. So I wanted to look to see how we're doing on that. Anything you'd like to add?
Nope. Be dusting, sharpening up the guillotine blades.
Yeah, exactly. They did. The folks in France had something similar back in the day. All right, so let's, for entertainment purposes only, and because I'm feeling kind of spicy. With this now, this latest grift, the $1.776 billion grifting fund, and the IRS never being able to investigate Trump and his kids for their past behavior on their taxes, combined with all the other financial setbacks that MAG is facing, are we finally building momentum for that revolution to make this stop? Oh my. Don't you love a one-card reading? The death card.
There you go.
The foundation is, it's time to bring this to the end. The king is dead. Long live the king. The challenge, the Queen of Pentacles. We can't take care of our families anymore. You know, you've taken away everything that we value and we hold dear. You know, that whole perception of all men are created equal, and that there's the justice system is equal, and that everyone has to go by the same rules. That's just not there anymore. Energy underneath it, the Ten of Swords. This is like the final sword in the back. It's like this card is basically, they've done all the damage they can do. They can't hurt you anymore. You were dead. You can't kill someone that's already dead. The actions that you've done are killing us. You're preventing us from taking care of ourselves and taking care of those around us. In the past, you got the Eight of Cups. This is, folks, this is the emotional walking away. As I've said in the past, the interesting thing about this card, the Nine of Cups is the happy merchant, hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. This is the, I can't take this anymore. And I need to walk away from this. Current energy is the High Priestess. This is people starting to find out the secrets. Hopefully getting the clarity that it's not an equal-based system. There are two tiers of justice, multiple tiers of justice, more than just two. Overarching energies. The rich get richer, the poor get just about nothing. Lesson to be learned, you put a corrupt person in the government, and the government and the large institutions are behind all of this. They're the ones that are driving this. They're the ones reaping the benefits, and we get nothing. This barely gets sustenance, which isn't enough to keep us going. And the Queen of Swords is the outcome. The harsh truth. This is what you voted for. This is what you supported. This is what you believed. And now what are you going to do about it?
I don't know. What are we going to do about it?
There's reference in there. What are you going to do about it, Whitey? Did you just watch that movie?
Which one?
The Blues Brothers?
I was watching some clips the other night.
Okay. That was when the Illinois Nazis were having their protest.
That was showing up on the feed. It's just sort of like back when, the answer was the obvious answer. Do you support Nazis? Yes or no?
Yeah.
When that movie came out, even 1976, think about the bicentennial. Do you think we'd have been able to pass a constitutional amendment that says there shall be no kings in the United States? That would have been a slam dunk, no brainer to the point of why are we even amending the Constitution?
Exactly. Why are we even discussing this?
Right. I want to just do a general read on the uber wealthy, the American oligarchs. There's a TED Talk out there with Nick Hanauer, Hanauer. It was put out about 15, I want to say it's like 15 years ago we did this TED Talk. And it was basically about the accumulation of wealth to the upper 1%. Let's see what it's, plutocrats, if you will. And
he's going to freeze while he's doing this.
Yeah, he's challenging trickle-down economics. And what was interesting on this one was the pitchforks are coming. In a widely discussed warning, he argues that extreme wealth concentration, where the top 1% hoard the vast majority of wealth, destabilizes democracy and threatens the wealthy themselves.
Yeah.
Sorry, when I switch to read an article, it freezes up the
freezes Dave. So
that's a new feature. But long and short of it, he's basically warning his oligarchical brotherhood that you can try and hoard as much money as you want, but if you do that, there are consequences for it, which is like what the French Revolution went through. So I want to look at where does the American oligarchy see the writing on the wall? That's what that long lead-in was for. Does the American oligarchy see the writing on the wall? High Priestess with the 7 of coins. The wise ones do. The wise ones understand about the over accumulation of wealth, that, if you hoard all the berries for yourself and you don't dispense, you won't go hungry for a while, but you won't have anybody to harvest your berries. You're gonna have to do it yourself. Underneath all the Empress, the lap of luxury, taking care of yourself and having that luxury. So in the past, you got the 10 of Swords. Current situation is the 8 of Wands. Overarching energy is the Death card. Lesson we learn is the Page of Swords, and outcome is the Justice card, asking where is the oligarchy? Do they understand that the wise ones do, the foolish ones do not? Because there's a vibe of you can never have enough. Too much and never enough. And that's the dilemma of when do you have enough? In the past, the 10 of Swords, let's go back, French Revolution, which apparently has never ended. By not sharing the wealth, you're hoarding it. This could go back to the 80s with the Reagan tax breaks. This allowed for a lot of that wealth to go upwards, and it's killing the middle class. Current situation with the 8 of Wands, jet setting, enjoying all the finer things in life. Many of them aren't getting it. They're just not getting it. They're too busy worried about their fast-paced lives. But it's not, with overarching with the Death card, it's not sustainable. The bill will come, and there'll be a point where they cannot pay the bill, or they don't have people to work for them to pay the bill. I do wonder if this is AI. Lesson to be learned is the Page of Swords. It's the peasants rising up and revolting that causes the problems. You've got to be worried about the next generation and them taking up arms against you. Outcome is the Justice card.
You had it coming.
Yeah, well, are there legal repercussions for this? The scales balance here's the problem. Your scales of balance are not tipped. They're not equal. They're not even remotely equal. No. And until the scales are balanced, you're going to run into problems. You're going to run into problems. Oh, well, here you go, justice. People will take justice into their own hands. If the laws aren't fair, they will take up arms, and then they will make them fair. And don't expect any type of moderation or discipline in the fairness redistribution process. Mm-hmm. You don't want to give up your money? Well, we'll cut it. We will end you, and then we will take it from you.
Yep. People at some point they're going to say enough. Can't take this anymore, and it's the enemy is going to be right in plain sight.
Yep. Look in the mirror; you'll see a reflection of the enemy.
So it's just it's one of those things. Has the fuse been lit? And that's the question. And I get the Justice card. It's it's like poetic justice. But or to your point, taking justice into your own hands because the system is not serving the people.
Right. Better to volunteer for it and have a seat at the table and kind of dictate what the justice will be than leave it to other people to decide what justice is going to be.
All right, that's all I got.
Yep, don't need to throw any more on this.
Go to bed. It's been a heck of a week. As we mentioned on Taco Tuesday. If you haven't seen it, check out Marina's channel, Heart-Centered Tarot. Every other Tuesday, Dave and I do a live stream with her. So we'll do another one in early June.
Yeah.
But yeah, our mom's she's not doing well.
She's at the end of her life. She's run out of runway, and she's about to join the choir invisible.
Yes, she's
going to be an ex-parrot.
Yeah, she's 90 years old. She'll be 91. She will have been 91 in July. It's not that I'm trying to be defeatist. I'm being very realistic on her health. She will not make it out of the month of May.
And let's put it this way: do you want her to make it to 91? No,
absolutely not.
I wanted her to pass the last week, a week ago. Yeah. This is not. She's not living. She's existing on a bed.
I mean, the good part of her day is about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is really not pleasant for her. And
I just would assume she go on her way.
Yeah. It's just, you don't want to see your parents suffer. You don't want to see your loved ones suffer. And she's not in a great place. And I just want the merciful ending to finally land. So we'll see, thoughts, love to my mom. The channel's been pretty dark this last week, and it's just because Dave and I have been over my sister's house. All the kids live pretty close together, and so we've been over at my sister's house on a daily basis to spend time with my sisters and my brother and my mom, and just be together as a family for the last couple of days that my mom's with us. So
yeah.
Anyways, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be a little bit spotty over the next week or two, I suspect. But maybe we give them a parting card for sticking around this long. Dave's not going to do it, so I don't.
Go ahead. I put my deck away.
Funny enough, I pulled the justice card again. Yeah, it's time for us to seek our justice here. I think this $1.776 billion grift, the war in Iran, the butt kissing in China, the hey, Chinese people can now buy as much farmland as they want. I think at this point, MAGA's got to have had enough. And maybe it's time to turn the corner and put all this behind us. Of course, I'm optimistic. So being a Gemini, I never know what to expect.
All right. Hey, take care, everyone. Have a great night. We'll catch you on the next video.
Bye.